stage that we've got is to go through the process of screening these papers. So whatever's left after you remove the duplicates, we screen. And remember that you're starting with that big number, but even when you get rid of duplicates, you'd have got rid of a few papers. Now you're going to get rid of a lot of papers. A lot of papers. So let's go back to my current RefWorks example to show you this. So in this collection of studies here, I'm actually interested in collecting literature. In this case, I'm trying to find out about why people stop in a VO2 max test. Sorry, I rephrase that. The criteria that people have used to establish VO2 max. So I am only interested in studies that are relevant in terms of actually VO2 max testing. So that's all I'm interested in. So I want to have a look at this literature to find out whether it's relevant. So what I do is I look at each paper. So the first paper I've got a systematic review of the effects of different types of therapeutic exercise and physiological function measurements on patients with HIV/AIDS. It's come through despite the fact my search terms, I'm not going to read that paper. So I'm going to give it I'm basically going to give it a tick, because what I'm eventually going to do is I'm going to delete these papers. I go to the next one, aerobic capacity in adolescents associated with time. Well, aerobic capacity is VO2 max. It's relevant. Health-related, let's just click, we missed it, oops. Health-related physical fitness of adolescents and young people with myogenosis. Well, it doesn't sound relevant to me, so I'm going to get rid of it. It's not relevant to the topic in hand. Simulated hypoxia does not further improve aerobic capacity during sprint interval. Well, aerobic capacity again is relevant, so I'm going to keep it. Effects of age and military service on strength and physiological characteristics. Well, it might have stuff in there on VO2 max, so I'm going to keep it. And you go through every single paper, not reading them, you go through every single paper, basically deciding whether you think it is vaguely relevant to your review. Even if you think that it's borderline, like that one which is the characteristics of the military. It doesn't say that it's got VO2 max in there, but I'm making an assumption that, well, if they're looking at physiological characteristics, there's probably going to be something in there which is relevant to my review that I'm going to run. So what you do is you go through every single title. And if the title's not clear, have a little peek at the abstract, but you go through every single one. This is the slowest bit. It doesn't take that long. Even to go through 2,000 papers, it's only going to take you a couple of hours to go through them, because you're literally going relevant, not relevant, relevant, not relevant. So when you fill in your Prismaflow diagram, in this box, it's the number of records screened, which should be the number of records after duplicates removed. And then in here, you identify the number of records that are now excluded. So how many did we get rid of because they were not relevant to your study? You're going to get rid of a lot. You are really going to get rid of a lot of papers at that point. You've not read a paper at this point, so we haven't had to do any of the hard work at this point in terms of reading a paper. So we've done a real kind of trawl in our stratification. So this is like the analogy of the fishing. So what I've done is I've pulled the nets in. I'm trying to find that one swordfish, which has got one left eye, one right fin. And I know I'm going to get loads of stuff in there, but actually there'll be a load of stuff in there that's not even relevant. There'll be seaweed. Well, that's not fish. I'm going to throw that back in the sea. There might be mussels. Well, they don't look like that fish. I'll throw them back in the sea. But there is this fish here that I don't, it might be a sort of, well, I'll keep it for the moment. It might be relevant. So now what we've got to do is we've now got to do the final bit. We're not going to do the last two bits with you as undergraduates, but we're going to do the last two bits, which is basically looking for these studies. Are they eligible?